Last week, I shared a video about a little system I started building where AI will call me and interview me about my day. And it's been 7 days. I thought I'd do a bit of a follow-up and actually share just part of the journey and where it's at and where it's headed. Because it's been really interesting. I think one of the most valuable things about building these systems for yourself is that you can customize it based on your own feedback. You don't have to wait for a developer to potentially do it, if they ever do it for a system that you're purchasing. You can literally just create something that custom fits your need. And between these automation tools and AI now, so much is possible. So the idea was that every afternoon, I have an AI agent, gives me a call, interviews me about my day, summarizes that, and puts it into a Superbase. And I'll just show you the way I've been working is I have a Claude project. And within here, I have all of my chats around the content that I'm speaking about, setting up the new systems, different ideas for things that I want to implement later. And, I'm a huge fan of projects. It becomes this contextually aware ecosystem to hold all of the information about the project that you're working on. And just before this video, I said, provide me like a weekly change summary and upcoming updates. And it created this incredible doc for me in a matter of minutes. And I'll walk through with you. So we've got a VPS server, self-hosted. We've got Superbase self-hosted on the server, N8N self-hosted on the server. So we're really only, paying something like $6.50 per month for this service which includes a database and an N8N automation system. Then the other cost comes from VAPI, Twilio, and OpenRouter. So VAPI is the voice AI that calls me. Twilio is the number that it uses to phone me. And it's quite nice now. Every day it comes from the same number. And if I miss the call, I can actually phone that number back and speak to that agent at any time. So it's automated to give me a call. But if I miss it or if I need to call first, I can actually do so. And one of the first things that I updated was I was like, well, if I phone this agent earlier than it phones me, I don't want it to actually then phone me again that day. And so that's what we've got here. We've got the schedule trigger. It's checking, has the agent already called me that day? If it has not, then it's going to call me at that scheduled time. This little module over here is something that's coming, still testing out. I'll talk about that in a second. So this is how it works. Yeah, schedules to give me a scheduled trigger fires to give me a call. N8N sends the request to VAPI to initiate the outbound call. VAPI calls my number, conducts a voice interview. After the call, VAPI sends the transcript via a webhook to N8N. N8N sends the transcript to AI for processing and structuring, and then that's all added to the database. So this is another automation that we have here called end of call webhook. And here we're just having AI actually summarize this. We're using OpenRouter. We're using Kimmy 2.5. We're getting it in a structured output and then adding that back to the Superbase. And this is what it looks like in Superbase. We've got a whole range of different tables. These are the main journal entries. You can see that I've been consistent and I've had 6 calls. I've done it every single day. It gives a brief title, some context, the date, bit of the mood that I'm in, some tags, and the full transcript as well, if I'd like to reference it. Then someone asked how much it costs, and I was like, oh, that's a good question. So I started adding in a few extra things like the duration of the call. You can see the call can vary anywhere from, around 4 minutes up to 10 minutes. And for a 10-minute call, it costs about $1. So it's really quite affordable considering. And if you remember in the video last time, I mentioned one of the reasons that I enjoy this the most is because I think that AI can ask such good questions. And it's that process of actually, surfacing ideas and thinking through things, and based on the questions that it asks, kind of go through that in a really meaningful way. One of the things that I found, though, is that the questions are getting quite generic. Like it's not pushing back. It's not like critiquing things. And I'd like a bit more of that. So one of the things that's coming later is some of that. So let's actually see, we've got like a database schema. We don't really need to see that cost-based thing. This is all just what Claude put together. And so this is what I'm working on next, some future enhancements. I want to see how well the AI can actually understand me as like it's like psychologically profile me based on the information that it gets. And so that's going to be pretty interesting. I want to do a semantic search where I can actually get history of that and provide it to specific conversations. And so that's actually one of like the start of what you saw here in that automation where it actually will call me every single day. The start of call, where one of the things that it will do is before it will call me, it will actually get the tags of the topics that I spoke about previously, maybe in like one or two conversations, so that it can add that as context to the conversation that we're having. I don't want like a full context of everything that we spoke about, but I thought just some tags of specific elements we spoke about could be useful. It's not loading, but hopefully it will load now. Okay, so these are those two modules that will eventually be inserted before the call to get information about those tags that I mentioned before. A couple of other things is dynamic voice personas. So I'd actually like to randomize the persona of the agent that calls me every day. We've got a few ideas like the Socratic interrogator, the pattern archaeologist, the content prospector, and more. And the idea is that I would actually have a different type of interview each day based randomly, completely random, and just see which ones I enjoy most and maybe tweak it from there. Because as I said, one of the great things is that you can tweak this as much as you like. And we've got the smart context, and doesn't have it here. Maybe it's included it before, but one of the other things that we added was that at the end of each week, we'll now get a summary of the conversations that we had, the topics, and that all gets added in a weekly summary section here. How many calls, the total duration, total cost, and a bit of an executive summary. So it's very flexible. It's very dynamic. You can change this to, do so many different things for you. And really, this is becoming part of my AI-enabled second brain. And so I'm thinking of just continuing this series as an AI second brain series, because everything can then sit within this Superbase. We've got, thought dumps, meeting insights, meeting transcripts, even content ideas, content examples of things that I've actually posted. And then this can become this really powerful second brain with so much information inside of it. So that's continuing the journey. Just thought I would share because hopefully this is of interest to some of you in seeing how you can build your own AI systems to really solve a specific problem for you. And this is why I think, AI second brain platforms haven't really taken off, because each person works differently and each person wants different inputs and outputs from the content that they provide. And so creating your own system gives you that power and flexibility to create it in a way that works for you. So this is the part of my journey. Hopefully this inspires you to get started on yours. And as always, if you've got any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.